Hello, my name is Dan Richardson, and today we are facing the other side of my office. And I actually kind of like it over here. Um, this may be permanent, but today we will be talking about Supergirl, the newest film starring Milly Alcock, Eve Ripley, or Ridley, and Jason Momoa, along with many others. And I will say that I thought the movie was okay. Like, I'll let the cat out of the bag immediately. I thought it was okay. I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd, and I thought it was just okay. But that being said, this follows Supergirl as she goes off to planets with a red sun so she can get drunk and celebrate her 23rd birthday. When she arrives on, or while she's partying on a particular planet, Ruthie, played by Eve Ripley, witnesses her family get murdered by Krim of the Yellow Hills, and she sets out on a quest for vengeance and eventually stumbles upon Supergirl. Says, "Hey, Supergirl, can you help me get vengeance on Krim?" Supergirl says no, but it isn't until her dog, Crypto, and this is actually, is fun fact, the side of where my dog's bed actually is on. So if you hear her while I'm ever recorded any videos, this is where she is. But basically, Supergirl's dog, Crypto, from the Superman movie last year, gets injured, and Supergirl's like, okay, fine, I will help you find Krim so I can cure my dog of this poison. And so they're off. And yeah, this was an okay movie. Sort of towards the end of the film, I was like, oh, this is kind of like, now granted, I think this is better than, but this is kind of like Thor: The Dark World. Specifically, that final world reminded me of a specific location from Thor: The Dark World, which is why I thought of it. But this is very much sort of a C-tier movie. I talk a lot about, I've talked, not a lot, but every once in a while I'll bring up tiers, where this is A tier, this is B tier. I thought the Marvels was kind of a B minus. The Marvels is right over there. I've never been near the Marvel shelf. This is crazy. But the Marvels I always described as a B minus tier movie. And we need B minus movies because not every film can be great or spectacular. Not every film can be good. Sometimes we just need an entertaining movie that we can just throw on the background and not really pay attention to. And unfortunately, this is one of those movies. This is a C-tier movie, which hurts to say, especially since I love Superman so much, and this is essentially a spin-off of Superman, in like the classic sense of what a spin-off is. And that kind of sucks, but I will say there are some positives. I really liked Milly Alcock as Supergirl. I thought she was spectacular in this film. The script isn't really that good, I will admit. The script really wasn't that good. And I've only seen a little bit of this director's work. Craig Gillespie, I believe is his name. So he did Cruella de Vil, the Cruella movie, which I thought was fine. I guess I liked it. I, Tonya, which I hated, and The Finest Hour with Chris Pine. And I actually really liked The Finest Hour. I thought that was a good film. I watched it a few years back with my parents. And that's probably his best movie. And this is probably somewhere around Cruella's quality, honestly, because it was fine. It was okay. And that sucks to say because Superman was so great, and of course, James Gunn, who unsurprisingly gets a lot of the flack for this universe when it, sort of fails and when it succeeds, said that they would not approve a script unless it was perfect and unless it was complete. And I do think that they had a completed script, most likely, but it really isn't a good script. And you can kind of feel that, especially once there's a scene with some bandits or some robbers early in the film. You can kind of feel like, that this isn't necessarily a good script. Now, Milly Alcock is doing great, she's, a fantastic actress, but the script is kind of where it fails, and I think the direction is where it kind of fails as well, with certain action sequences, and the CG isn't all that good, but that's not his fault. But yeah, the CG is a little questionable. We're gonna get into the negatives now. Bad script, bad CG. My main complaint is that you can kind of really feel that they had a hard time scoring this film. A few months back, there was a story that broke that they went through 3 composers for this film, and you can definitely feel that with the reliance on needle drops, and just the score by itself felt very not a part of the film, I guess is the best way to put it. I really didn't pay attention to it. It really didn't grab my attention. And the needle drops very much are sort of where it's like, okay, like you didn't have a score until very recently, which is probably true, because it was literally this year, like February, that they said, or that reports were coming out that the 3 composers. And and that hurts to say. That really does. Sort of I guess a mixed aspect, I will say, is Jason Momoa. I really like Jason Momoa. I love him in the Aquaman movies. And I like him as an actor, but he isn't really playing Lobo. Like, I feel like he isn't being big enough, and like Lobo himself is like a loudmouth jerk, very crass, very crude kind of character. And I understand that this movie is PG-13, but like, the Superman Man of Tomorrow animated film did pretty good with Lobo. And I feel like that there is a way to have and just look at Michael Bay's Transformers movies. There is a way to have a like crude and cruel, and he isn't exactly a cruel character, but a crude, obnoxious, jerk as a character in a PG-13 film. But Lobo wasn't that, and Lobo was just okay. But like, yeah, he contributed very much to this movie is just kind of okay sort of feel. Now, Crim of the Yellow Hills, a lot of people are complaining about that. Honestly, I think they should have kept him as Ginger, because he has like a bunch of like piercings all over his face, or metal, some kind of shit like that. And I don't know, like, it was like, okay, cool, but like, I feel like if they kept him Ginger, if they kept him a bit more human, then that would have been more visually interesting if he was just like a guy, as opposed to this weird kind of monster that they tried to make him to be. But I don't know, the bad guys overall were kind of underwhelming. And I will say, I have not read the comic book that this is based off of. I'm gonna do that now, although I've heard that might actually be better to watch the movie than read, because the movie isn't exactly as faithful to the book. I mean, it does the plot of the book, but it's not as faithful to the book as one would hope, or as they advertised it to be. So like, doing this, so like reading the book second might actually be better overall. And that sucks, because like, very often comic book movies are inspired by these particular books, but they're never based off of a specific book. And that kind of stinks to say. But those are my thoughts. Those are basically all my thoughts that I sort of said on Letterboxd, and sort of what I was talking to Mom about. I actually told my mom that it's sort of surprising that they didn't know the score while they're filming. Like, you think that you would film the movie and sort of know what you wanted the score to sound like as you were making it. But that's it. Comment below, let me know what you think of this movie. I will say, I think I forgot to mention, David Cornsweet, Superman, actually is in this movie, and he was absolutely a highlight of the film. Now, Milly Alcock, like I said, she is my number one positive thing about this movie. And the actress who played Ruthie was okay. There were some moments where it's like, okay, is she like, clearly she's like a little kid, but like, is she, you know, like her competent, the level of competency as like a 15-year-old girl. I think she's actually 13. I think they state that in the film, or 14, 13, 14. But you know, her competence as a like 13-year-old girl kind of comes up and down quite a bit. But I ultimately liked that actress. But David Cornsweet absolutely was an incredible, like, he did a great job. He is Superman. Of course, this is my favorite Superman movie. This is like one of my favorite DC movies of all time. I absolutely love Superman from last year. But I also really appreciated seeing him here, and I can't wait for Man of Tomorrow. And I can't wait to see Milly in Man of Tomorrow, because I'm sure, or I hope that Man of Tomorrow is at least better written than this film. But yeah, comment below, let me know, what did you think of this movie? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Did you hate this movie? Did you love this movie? All that kind of fun stuff. Tell me down in the comment section below. And remember that God, He made you special. He loves you very much. I hope you had a very lovely day. I hope you had a very lovely week, as always. God bless. I love you, and up and away.